So these are the kind of things that can happen when you neglect your camper and leave it out in the middle of the desert for 8 months. I've been kind of busy. I bought a fifth wheel last year, was busy with that for a few months, and then COVID-19 happened, and I've been out of town. I didn't even notice this when I plugged it in. I got down the road a few hundred yards, and then my truck kept talking to me, so I pulled over at a truck stop and found out why there wasn't a good connection. Got some sandpaper out, fixed her up, and finally got down the road. Now, this isn't my first visit to Red Ledge RV Park in Kanarraville. It's one of my favorite campgrounds in the country, but it is my first time staying in Site 6. This is the greatest spot in the whole park. I have my lawn, a couple picnic tables, a couple trees. I can just step outside and be right in the shade. So Red Ledge RV Park on paper is very much a no-frills park. There aren't a whole lot of amenities here. However, it's surrounded by just this wonderful country charm. This cute little Mormon town, beautiful country. And the park itself, even though it's very small, it has a lot of neat little sitting areas where you can just sit in the shade and cook on the barbecue. There's a lot of thought put into it by the owner, and it's very apparent. So during the weeks leading up to my vacation here in southern Utah, I kind of envisioned me hiking and exploring and sightseeing and that sort of thing. But I tell you what, these little sitting areas and the patios here and the shade trees were just calling my name. I just needed to relax after weeks and weeks of COVID-19. I just wanted to unwind. Not a whole bunch has changed here in Kanarraville. I can still walk across the street and say hey to the horses and the llama. But I guess in recent years, Kanarra Falls has become more of a tourist attraction and no longer a local secret. So a couple new businesses have popped up. And this is kind of nice because I can just walk across the street and get a snow cone or a coffee here at Kanarra Falls Snackery. Here's another new addition to the town of Kanarraville. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's the first hotel or restaurant in this tiny little town. The hotel maybe has 4 rooms. It's so small, I can't imagine it has more than 4 rooms. The restaurant was fantastic. I really enjoyed coming here, and I got the same thing every single time because I loved it so much. The grilled cheese and the homemade fries. They are to die for, all of $6. St. George, Utah is a little more than a half hour down the hill from Kanarraville, Utah, and it's the difference between night and day as far as climate change. This is the desert. It's so freaking hot down here, especially in June. But I had to come down here to play pickleball at Little Valley. This is a world-class pickleball resort and host to many big tournaments. I look forward to coming back here during cooler weather. It would be a great time, but every time I got my pickleball fix here early in the morning, I headed straight back up the hill to cooler temperatures. Like I said, this trip was mostly about relaxation and less about sightseeing, but I did manage to get 3 hikes in, and this time he even had a companion. Here's my hitchhiker friend. I didn't ask him to come along, but it's always nice to have company, you know? Spring Creek Canyon is still a free trail, much like Kanarra Falls was a few years ago. It's sort of a local secret as well. In total, it's all of 5 miles round trip, and what I really enjoy about this trail is not only do I get to walk through slot canyons, but also enjoy a diversity of different landscapes and terrains. Yep, it's June in southern Utah and it's snowing. I'd just gone to Cedar City, Utah to fill my propane tank, and I thought I was imagining things when I saw the first snowflakes. But sure enough, it became a full-blown snow, and by the time I got back to Kanarraville, it actually turned into sort of a snowy mix with sleet and hail. It was at this time that the manager of the park told me that she had a ticket for me to go up Kanarra Falls. Well, I won't lie, I did think about that cold water. You actually have to hike through the creek to get up to the falls, but there was no way I was going to turn down an opportunity to hike the falls. I love southern Utah. You have access to three waterfalls on the trail, and this is the first one. Yes, the ladder is tiny, and it does wobble a little bit if you're a 200-pound man, I'll tell you that. But in the end, it's all worth it. This is sort of the point where a lot of people stop and just sort of take it all in. And then you get to decide whether or not to go upstream a little further and check out the other waterfalls, or if your feet are too cold, head back down. Being a nomad all my life, I've never strongly considered buying property anywhere, but it's been on my mind a little bit lately, and there are only a handful of places I would even consider it. It has to be someplace where I feel totally at home, and southern Utah is one of those places, and kind of a logical choice too, considering my line of work and how close it is to Las Vegas. I think once the dust settles with this pandemic, I'm going to do a little investigating and see what I can find up in this area.